Hey there, just doing a bit of hiking here in the woods. Despite the funky cold and rainy weather here, the strange summer continues. So in this video I wanted to discuss the concept of facing fear and creating our reality consciously. So there is much fear embedded in the souls of humans. And to a great extent, much of this fear is unconscious, buried in the vast subconscious. Now, a very important concept to understand as we're coming to a greater awareness of this, this concept of creating our own reality, is that we don't just create our own reality based on our conscious thoughts. We create our own reality based on the totality of our being. And that means our conscious thoughts and everything else, which there's much more to who we are than just our conscious thoughts. And a great deal of humanity is locked in a state of denied emotional energy due to various past experiences that were unresolved. And so the reason that there is so much calamity and so much hardship and difficulty and challenges in the lives of humans is to a great extent because of denied energy, denied aspects of our being that are buried deep in our subconscious and which are causing us to create a reality that we don't enjoy and that we don't understand. And so thus it's very easy to fall into the victim mentality of thinking that, the world is out to get us, that it's a dangerous, difficult place, and that there is, folly and fear to be found all over the place. And we just don't understand that the reason that we are creating such a world is because of our own vibration that we are not aware of. And so a very important aspect of the spiritual path and of self-growth and self-evolution is coming into greater awareness of what is truly within ourselves, beyond just our conscious thoughts, and accessing and working with that energy in order to transmute it and transform it. And so this requires, to some extent, getting in touch with fears within us. So there's the age-old saying about choose love versus fear. And I would certainly agree with this to a great extent. However, simply consciously choosing love instead of fear doesn't make honest, genuine feelings of fear within you go away and disappear. Instead, it simply creates greater denial. And that energy stays within you and continues to create your reality, even if you strive so hard to think positively and create a happy existence. Instead, we have to integrate, resolve that energy within us truly, instead of denying it and separating it and trying to go the other way. So in other words, to some extent, we need to love fear. And that may sound like a difficult or ridiculous concept. It isn't about saying that you enjoy being afraid. Nobody enjoys being afraid, but it's about bringing those genuine, real parts of ourselves into the realm of love in order to dissolve, transmute, transform them. And so there is a difference to be acknowledged between fear based on a current present situation and fear based on the past that is unresolved that we're projecting onto the outer world. And so it's those past unresolved fears that we want to access. We don't want to just create more scary experiences in our life and create more fear that is then going to be denied. We want to access and get in touch with fear within us in order to bring it forth, bring it through us, and truly transmute it. So we have many aspects of our being that are within us, yet unconscious, based on past experiences in which we had a difficult, challenging, frightening, perhaps terrifying, very painful experiences that we didn't fully process. We had these emotions come up, but we didn't deal with them. We didn't allow that energy to move through us. Instead, we denied it, suppressed it, and hoped that would be a solution. The problem is that was an honest expression of our being. If that was how we felt, then that was how we felt. And if you deal with it by suppressing it, then what you do is you separate from a part of yourself. That part of yourself goes into the subconscious, and then you move on into your life with part of yourself dead, essentially, and seeking to create your reality without accessing the totality of your being. So it's about getting in touch with that past unresolved frozen fear in order to get that energy moving, so that you can access that part of yourself and thus be in a place of greater wholeness. So how do you actually do this? One thing is just to be more aware of what you are actually feeling, and be more aware of the decisions that you are making and whether they are based on fear or on inspiration and creativity and excitement. And notice, am I making this action, am I making this choice because of a fear that is somewhere within me that may not even be related to this circumstance or not? And to choose to live life from a place of inspiration, even if certain life experiences come with a certain amount of risk. For example, here I am hiking in the woods alone in a rainstorm, and I could come across a bear. I came across a bear a couple of days ago. Fortunately, I was in a car driving with a friend, and we saw a bear along the side of the road. Got some really awesome video footage of it, about 20-30 feet away. Now, I had to warn some people who were outside of it, completely away from their cars on the road, taking pictures and things of this bear 20 or 30 feet away. And here's an instance in which fear serves a purpose, and they were not in touch with that. Bears can change behavior very suddenly and seem like they're not noticing you, and then all of a sudden charge. And so I had to, tell these people, get back in your cars. This is very unsafe to be 20 or 30 feet away from a bear taking a picture, a big black bear. So anyways, I digress. But there could be a bear in the woods that I could come across, and then I'd have a, interesting, difficult, perhaps scary experience to deal with. But guess what? That's everywhere. It's probably a lot safer hiking in the woods than it is walking around the city, in which you could get hit by a car, hit by a bus, something could fall out of a skyscraper onto your head, you could get mugged, etc. Life just comes with risks, and you just have to, accept that. And rather than, spending our time here on Earth living life based on fears, many of which are not even relevant to the present moment, choose to live life and enjoy the moment as much as you can. And if fear arises, then just acknowledge it and allow it to be, and be conscious of it, and try to tap into that energy in a way to actually get it moving, so that frozen energy becomes unfrozen, starts flowing, and what happens is you then access a part of your being that is beneath that fear that you had been disconnected from, and you come into a place of greater wholeness. I'll give another suggestion on dealing with fear, is fasting. So I haven't eaten in 3 days. I spontaneously woke up one morning and was just like, I just feel like taking a break from eating. Just as a cleanse and I'm doing saltwater flushes to flush out my intestinal system, and it's just something that I do every few years or so. Fasting can be a powerful way of connecting with some denied fears and emotions, because we so often use food as a way to mask our fear and various denied energy. A lot of people, especially in the United States, in which there's such a problem with obesity, and in many other countries around the world, then people are eating fear-based, basically, because of unconscious fears and trying to cover that up. And so you take that away, and you face some sort of primal fears of, am I going to die of starvation? It could be past life experiences of actually dying of starvation, or getting close to it because of living in a civilization where food wasn't plentiful all the time. And so this is one way of getting in touch with some denied emotions and energy within, and having the chance to process it and deal with it. And there are, of course, many other ways. For example, the Native American Vision Quest is to some extent about getting in touch with denied fears. The Native American Vision Quest is where you would be taken away from the village when you're young, and put somewhere in a cave or in the woods or whatever, and left there alone for 2 or 3 days without food or water. And so there, not only are you fasting, but you're away from the tribe and enduring darkness, the darkness of night alone. And it could very well bring about visions, as in Vision Quest, but to some extent it's simply about facing some internal fears, contacting that part of yourself that is within all of us, and bringing it more to the surface, more to consciousness, and coming into greater strength and personal power by tapping into and resolving fear. So not everyone has the chance to do a Vision Quest, but there are certainly other things. Sweat lodges, if you can find a sweat lodge ceremony. Yoga and meditation can both very much be opportunities to access fear, because of course in meditation you're becoming more aware of your internal thoughts and feelings. And so instead of distracting yourself in the outside world by turning on the TV, getting drunk, going to the mall, going shopping, stuffing your face, etc., you decide to just be in the moment and observe your thoughts and discover what is within you. And yoga has a way of bringing up fear which is stored in our bodies. We store our emotions. Denied emotions get stuck in our bodies, and denied emotions are one of the primary causes of all diseases. Especially things like back pain but really everything can be a matter of denied emotions, stuck energy that we haven't resolved, and so we stuff it down in our subconscious, and then it creates contraction instead of openness, and that energy has to go somewhere, and so it gets stuck in our body, and then creates disease because it is dead energy, as I said, and so that dead energy will create death, or at least sickness. So yoga can be a great way of connecting with various denied emotions within our body. And then there's countless different things that a person can do. Do some things that are scary, just to tap into some of those fears. Go parachuting or hang gliding, or backpacking alone in the woods, or there's a whole countless list of things that you can do to engage with the world. Seize the day, as they say, grab the bull by the horns and live life. You don't want to be ultra risky, of course, But life comes with risks, and so just acknowledge that, accept that, and choose to live a life of making the most of it as much as you can, learning as much as you can while you have this period of time on this planet with so many, potentialities and possibilities, and leap into that fear to some extent in order to acknowledge it, in order to transmute it, resolve it, and thus start living life from a place of joy and inspiration and creativity instead of reacting and closing up because of unconscious denied fears. So I hope that gives people a few ideas. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.